Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we'll be covering the final episode of Digimon Ghost Game, which is episode 67, The Devourer of All. I'm May, and I'm joined by the knockout and drop-dead gorgeous Chloe.
Hello.
And of course the equally knockout drop-dead gorgeous Quinn.
Extremely accurate of you, yes. Hello.
We're not
I decided
Amandia,
to use...
despite what
not Amandia.
Despite what ChatGPT might tell you.
Cat GPT, though, probably has...
Cat GPT.
That has to exist
Cat
now, right? That's gotta be someone's really
It's
I hope
gotta.
so.
app.
It's gotta. And, I mean, I hope it's perfect. I'm sure it is perfect.
Yeah.
I get it.
It just
Perfect.
tacks a nya onto the end of every sentence.
I don't think you got my pun.
Perfect, I get
Perfect.
it. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
thank you. It's my script today was written by the English dub of Digimon Adventure. Anyway, so this was the last episode. So let's get into a synopsis before we discuss our thoughts. So Ghost Game always begins an episode with a fear or a phobia. And today was no different. It opened with the phobia of Digimon riders doing the power of friendship again.
It sure did.
And so, prior to starting this recording, I sent a meme to Quinn and Chloe that I made in the lead up to the recording. So please unspoil it about the meme that I did.
Oh, and the water's coming out of the hole. That's so good.
That's terrible.
Oh my god.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that's excellent. Very well done.
I had to. So for context, it's the flex tape meme with the water pouring out of the glass hole with the guy doing the flex tape slap on the hole. I've put SiriusMon with his hole on the chest, and I've made the water coming out of the hole in the chest, and it is being covered by the power of friendship. I'll obviously link it because I'm bad at describing things.
It's extremely good.
That was that was the meme that I needed y'all to see, and yeah. We fix the giant hole when SiriusMon does his best Leomon from Digimon Tamers cosplay. Just with the power of friendship, we have Hiro saying that Gammon is his younger brother, and then he grows a Regulusmon arm on Hiro or something, and then we bring SiriusMon back to life, and then SiriusMon is able to combine with Gulas Gammon after reverting him back to Gulas Gammon, and then in typical Ghost Game fashion, Gulas Gammon says, "Oh, that was bad. Oh, okay, I guess I lose. I'll not do it again. I'm good now. I'll also now revert everything back to normal."
Yep.
Which is annoyingly on brand for Ghost Game. Like, this is a very Ghost Game ending, but it's not like it's Ghost Game derogatory. It's not Ghost Game a compliment.
Yeah, it's basically like self-satire at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, it is the worst of Ghost Game. It's like, as I said, Ghost Game derogatory. So then, now that all the corrosion has been undone because Gulas Gammon decides to play nice now, Bloom Lordmon is able to open the gate to a brand new Digimon Quantumon, upsettingly not Hiro's mum.
We said the same thing.
And then like
She's
the
just
whole
in Brazil, I guess.
Or whatever.
yeah, like that part wasn't the lie. So Quantumon is the one who actually invented the Digivices. It wasn't the dad, which again would be perfect if it was. I mean, Quantumon can still be Hiro's mum. It could be Quantum Mum. And that would have been so much better if Hiro is like half
if
Digimon.
the series had meant anything.
Yeah, and like it would make sense. Like, oh, it's actually his mum, and that's why Hiro's dad was just randomly in the digital world, despite being
Why
not very
he called
smart.
them brothers?
Yeah.
No,
But
apparently
no-
they just happened to meet one time.
Yeah, and then Hiro's dad was like, wow, everyone hates you and you fight with everyone. I'm going to give you to my son.
Yeah. I'm gonna make this someone else's problem.
Yep.
Yeah, and that he did. Thanks, Hiro's dad, for being just the worst.
Anyway, I'll let you finish up the synopsis before I start.
Yeah, that is fair. So the Quantumon then says that, first of all, we find out the Gamamon's an alien, by the way, which is kind of like, okay, cool.
Yep.
I feel like we had that theory once, but we said it as like a joke. I think we were memeing. But, so Gamamon's an alien, his planet was devoured, and so this world will also be devoured in 2,000 years, and in such a human way, all the humans go, oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, okay, no
that's
problem.
That's fine.
Yep.
I'll be long dead by that point.
Yeah, I said to Chloe, oh, wait, is the villain global warming?
Yeah, or anything that is a threat that we can maybe help now, but won't, like, it isn't important to us because it happens in the future.
Any further away than my own children, I just don't care, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and even then.
Even then, probably not. Not unless, like, a journalist tells me a really compelling story about, some child without shoes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, so we find out that that's happening, and then the characters go, like, okay, we'll be, like, diplomats and ambassadors for the digital world.
We sure invite the creep along to be a diplomat.
Yep.
And says, I wonder, and he starts to creep on Digimon now, which is...
Oh, I wrote that down in my lowlights.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Like, thanks. I would have preferred if they just had him just sit there and not say anything. Just not like...
Yeah.
Like, why? And then, I mean, I was almost surprised that it then ended. Like, that was it. There wasn't any, like...
At no point in this series did anyone tell him, you're a creep. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
anyway.
Stop that.
Oh, you. And then, the episode ends. Now that we've gone over the synopsis, I've shown off my memeing abilities. Let's discuss the discussions. So what are our highlights this week?
We did mention that Pokemon went on a journey upstate briefly.
That was my only highlight, was just Pokemon was mentioned, and then I guess Gamamon realizes that he too is dying and remembers that Pokemon also died in the same way that his body was just disappearing. Although I do have another highlight.
That a little more, but at least it was something.
Yeah, at least it was something. It was everything happened very, very quickly. It was just kind of like a this, and this happened. Yeah. It was just very sort of...
It was very much should have been a 2-part episode that wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely should have been, and I feel like it would have been much better as a 2-part. It felt very, like, rushed. Like, Ghost Game kind of, like, admitting defeat was, again... Ghost Game, just being Ghost Game.
Yeah.
I did have another highlight that I just remembered just randomly when I was thinking about Gamamon dissolving, but I guess it's confirmed that Digimon can also load the data of Digimon in the same way that Digimon Tamers has them loading Digimon. I thought that was just...
Yeah, or
maybe not necessarily a highlight,
once
but...
because the writers decided they didn't care that much.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just nice that we get a little bit of... hey, Digimon can do this in this universe, like that's fine. But otherwise, I don't really have any highlights, just kind of... It was cool. I did not expect Pokemon to be mentioned at all.
That's fair. We actually had a few more, but several of them amount to just I appreciate how Ava this episode was.
It was so Ava.
Yeah, Seriousmon pulled a Unit 2 400% sync rate and grew new hands with which to punch. Also opened his mouth and went berserk, or, slurped Gulus back up, as the case may be. That was pretty Ava.
I don't think this ever actually happened in Ava, but Hero growing, a sword arm like he's a Mega Man Battle Network character, was at least Ava adjacent.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
It almost happened in the manga, which I have been reading because I'm a parody of myself.
So, yeah, definitely no Ava-ness going on there.
The first 11 and a half minutes were pretty good and had us going like, this actually might be a pretty good ending. And then later I went back and added a little addendum under that highlight saying, well, we accidentally time-stamped the end of the good part.
Yep. Because, we stopped it, we were writing notes, and we were like, oh, hey, check the timestamp, because so far this has been pretty great. We covered a bunch of things. We dealt with the hole in the chest. We, did a satisfying little bit on death. Okay, where are we going with this?
And then it was downhill fast.
Yep.
It just ended very suddenly. It was like...
By the way, I'm
it was
an
going
alien,
somewhere.
and my home planet needs me.
Yeah, it is. But the animation was good, and, parts of it were a lot better than I was expecting. I am glad that my prediction was slightly wrong, and we only took a third of the episode on... Pokemon, or not Pokemon, God, Gamamon dying, and then Hero power of friendshipping him back to life instead of 2/3 of the episode. So that was nice.
I'm so mad that I was right. Like, I said two, like, one of two things happened. Like, it could happen with Millenniumon, which I will get to in the lowlights, I guess, or it could be just power of friendship in about 2.5 seconds, and it was pretty quick.
It was the power of being a younger brother, apparently.
Yeah, which is
younger brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Digimon, just do something other than just do like random magic. I think sometimes that would be better than power of friendship.
Yeah, but I think that basically covered our highlights.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I don't think you necessarily mentioned specifically the mouth opening bit.
Oh, yeah, I did. The opening of the mouth and the going berserk and or slurping Gulus back up, as the
well,
case
it's worth
may be.
mentioning twice.
Yeah,
Because that
it
was
was...
really just the best moment.
Yeah, and that I did put in the Ghost Game chat, the meme that a friend made and I stole. Anyway, yeah, them's our highlights.
Yep. Also, thank you, Emily, for the meme.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do love a good meme.
Mm-hmm.
Lowlight time?
Yeah.
Lowlight time.
Okay, mine is just, like, my main one already kind of went over it, but power of friendship, I feel like, is rarely done well.
Yeah.
And it was too just,
wasn't
like...
especially here.
Yep.
No, it was very much just, like, yelling about, hey, remember the times we had? Gamamon, you're my little brother! It's just, like, it's just exactly what you'd expect, and this was kind of my concern that it would do this, and then it did. I'm like, okay, there we are. We just power friendshiped away the hole in the chest.
And then just told everyone else to please stand back and not do anything in the entire episode.
Yep.
Which is... It's kind of a shame we didn't get to see anyone else do anything.
We didn't need a montage. We didn't actually need the power of friendship. We just said, hey, no, I'm a deal with this. Even though we definitely could just gang up on him and do this without losing my hands in the process.
But then how would you have stumps with which to Ava, with which to then punch?
to Planet Knuckle.
Planet Knuckle. Yeah, that's a move name.
At least it looked cool.
It was fine. One of our lowlights was that apparently the Digivice has a thermometer for your Digimon's body temperature, which may or may not also be a heart monitor, despite the fact that Seriousmon has his blown out of his chest cavity.
That's a good point.
Those are all fair points, I think.
That's a really valid point.
The
Definitely
Digivice
doesn't have one of those.
says his temperature's down. Like, is that how Digimon work?
Yeah.
Probably because his heart he has now been blown out into space where it is quite cold.
What if their digital
normal core temperature?
Wouldn't lower be better for them? Because then, the processor doesn't have to worry about being too hot.
Gamamon is a chocolate-cooled device.
Hate that.
You're welcome.
We also sure went to a mindscape within a mindscape.
Twice?
Yeah.
We get it. You've seen Inception.
Yep.
Bong.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We talked about how stupid Planet Knuckle was.
Yeah, I will say, I kind of want to write this the way we wrote it out, or read it the way we wrote it out, which was, we did an Ava and grew some new hands with which to do some cool punching, and then shouted, Planet Knuckle.
Of all friggin' things.
Yeah, that's what we went with for the okay-ish looking Dragon Ball Z knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a brothel called that, or something very similar in my city.
Oh my, okay.
I was to say, I can imagine a sex act named that, but...
No, hang on, I think it's called the Daily Planet, or something.
Okay.
Anyway,
the next one is complaining about Hero's creepy friend again, because, literally, Hero, how is this the guy that you're asking to help make a new nation with you where humans and Digimon live together? This is the guy who has sexually harassed every woman in the show and is now expressing an interest in doing the same to all the Digiwomen.
Yeah, it is 2023, and we've had a character whose entire personality is, ha, I creep on women, and literally no one ever says anything. Mm-hmm. He's a bully in an 80s movie.
Mm-hmm. And just... honestly, I don't really even know where to start with all of this new nation stuff, to be honest, but I guess the first question is, where?
Yeah, we only have one real modern example of creating a new nation, and it turns out that when you very nobly offer up someone else's nation where they live without asking them, it doesn't work out so well.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think we should have gone with giving up Arizona, made that the new Israel, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. And just, like, yeah, you know, they make it out as like, oh yeah, just make a new nation. Like, it's just the most, like, trivial and simple thing in the world.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll put some ads online.
Yeah.
Saying, look, we're looking for new citizens.
Hey, you want to emigrate to this country that has, you know, no industry, no infrastructure, or, you know...
Permanent address,
and will likely be the target of a lot of, you know, political just...
Hey, we're the people who shut off the entire internet for about a week and invaded with a bunch of monsters. Anyway, we're forming a nation somewhere. Would you like to join us?
Mm-hmm. It was a lot. Yeah. I don't, like, hate the idea necessarily, but...
It's fine. This is our head diplomat, the guy who would like to grope some Digimon, please.
Yeah. Also, and I'm not going to let anyone gaslight me into not thinking that this is the case, but the Moon Millennium Mon thing was just 100% bait.
Yep.
It meant nothing and served only to bookend a flashback of various Mons of the week for Hero the other week. Why?
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. It was just to, yeah,
as
you said,
it made very little sense when he was brought up. It didn't really make a lot of sense for Hero to then pocket Moon Millennium Mon instead of just dying or whatever. Yeah. We then ominously look into it, and then that's it. The end. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, pocketing it is one thing. Like, okay, we've had plenty of Digimon that we just sort of meet and then don't show up again. Like, Phalesmon and Zasamon were kind of left in an open-ended way of, hey, these Mons might return. So having it in a pocket and then maybe having, oh, hey, we might return to it at the end of one episode is one thing. But a few episodes later, we then have him, like, him being Hero, looking into Moon Millenniumon, like, as Gammamon's sleeping, and he's just kind of, like, looking at the crystal. And that the fact that meant nothing is kind of weird. Like, yes, just leave it in your pocket for, like, the one episode it was relevant and then never mention it again, that's fine. But the fact that they brought it out again, I thought that was a sign of it.
Remember that time that Maki found herself in the middle of the digital ocean with a gun that transformed into a different gun, and then she made a pact with the devil or something, and then we never saw her again? Me either.
And then we reused her storyline in Kazuna for some reason.
Yep.
Thanks, Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
My other low light was the fact that, like, just not doing it, like, just having Moon Millennium on, like, it could have just been there to just cure instead of the power of friendship. That worked. That would have worked better. I would have been less mad of just using it to cure.
Mon. That would have been neat.
Yeah. Just, you know...
You and Gulus gotta work together to eat Moon Millennium Mon.
Plus, it would be even more Ava.
That's true.
You gotta eat
absolutely.
the angel to gain its power.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Plus, you gotta have two plugins in this one particular scene for some reason.
Like, I mean, that low light kind of ties into my next one, which is the fact that Gammamon actually has 2 additional evolutions that weren't seen in the series.
Yep.
That I was expecting to see in this episode.
I think one of them is like a fusion of the 2 mega.
Yeah. So we have Regulusmon has a mega form.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one. He gets to evolve to mega, which again, it is weird that we're fighting a perfect level against a mega form. So I was expecting Regulusmon to evolve, and then the other evolution is Proximamon, who is a combination of Regulusmon's mega form and Cirrusmon, so it's a Jogress. So those 2 Digimon just do not exist in the show. They exist in the card game, they exist on the Vital Bracelet, and one would kind of expect either one or both of those Digimon to appear in this episode, but it didn't. Neither did, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. It is extremely Ghost Game of them to do, and that is why it made my lowlights list, which was, when Gulus Gammamon, the famous follower of rules, promised that he'll be good now, and therefore we don't need to worry about anything.
Yeah, again, that's just Ghost Game. That's kind of like... Lesmon did the similar thing where he left. He was just like, okay, I've lost. And I think Piedmon did the same as well. Like, I've lost, so I'll return everything back to the way it was before. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to leave. And Ghoulish Gamamon did the same.
I can't believe that they literally pulled The Simpsons. Wait, so was Poochie an alien?
Yeah, they did that.
They sure did that. They didn't quite say his home planet needs him, although they didn't not say that when we're starting a new nation.
Yeah. But, clearly the writers have also been reading the Karis books. I'm blanking on the actual name of the series, but it's a very...
I'm wondering...
Andrew Rowe is the author's name.
Mm-hmm. Does this mean that Gamamon is a Tamagotchi? Because the Tamagotchi planet is kind of like another world, and I'm wondering if that's the world he's from. That could be cool.
Sorry, I'm just imagining a giant Digivice flying through space.
Yeah, I guess that works. But, I mean, Digimon do kind of exist in the Tamagotchi universe. For one thing, one Digimon got so incredibly drunk, just plastered. This Tamagotchi, he suddenly got isekai'd into the digital world, and then decided the only way to survive was to get just incredibly ripped. And that is how we have Nanimon. He is just a Tamagotchi that got just so drunk he got isekai'd into the digital world. Because they are both kind of like planets. The digital world from the Tamagotchi universe is actually called the Iachi planet, and all the Tamagotchi characters there are just evil, but they're also just Digimon, so I'm wondering if Gamamon's a Tamagotchi. Gamachi.
Maybe.
Sure.
Makes as much sense as anything else in this finale.
I was sad to discover today that there is apparently a Jurassic Park V-Pet.
Oh, there are many.
Not related to anything, but
yeah, there are many.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, unfortunately. But I have to ask, what the heck was up with the Devourer of Worlds stuff?
I don't know.
Why?
It's the Devourer of Worlds.
Yeah,
we just say, hey, in 2,000 years, y'all are going to be in trouble, and then...
That's it.
That's all. That's the end.
This and the new country thing were, for all that we've criticized it, it was at least an interesting idea that you could have built 20 episodes around. Mm-hmm. And my main problem with it is that we just dropped it in for like 3 minutes.
Out of nowhere at the end. Like, if any of this stuff had been referenced at all before, I might feel a little better, but like... all of a sudden, Ghoulish Gamamon is an alien from space, and there's a Devourer of Worlds coming that he's been trying to prepare for, or something.
But we're not going to tell you anything about it, even though, that may be a long time, but also if there's something called the Devourer of Worlds coming, I'd like to see how we start preparing for it.
Yeah.
That could be pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's another issue I have with this episode, is that we sure did get a lot of information thrown at us just at once that could have been slowly given to us throughout the episodes, and maybe instead of it being all in this episode, we could have done something else with that time rather than just have an info dump where we just kind of sat there. And usually the prophecy info dumps are like episode 13 of a series, not episode 67. Mm-hmm. So it is kind of weird we're getting and this is the prophecy, or this is the whole thing that's been happening.
And we very much did an adventure of, by the way, here's the prophecy you just fulfilled.
Yeah, which is never a good thing, but Digimon loves doing it.
Yep. Another minor lowlight, because I didn't really expect it to happen in the first place, but, way back when, we were having a real tough time fighting Picklemon until we went to the future and saw something that was really cool about Gamamon, and...
I forgot about that.
We never saw him.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not like I expected him, not like I expected to, but it would have been nice.
Exactly. With the hole in his chest and, fighting in the mindscape, that would have been the time for him to show up.
Yeah.
Maybe even contribute to the montage of healing or whatever, and then go back and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna just stay out of your way, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it could have been Proximamon that he saw, which is like he could have seen the combination of both his evil side and his good side combined to be this giant, world-saving Digimon Proximimon.
Interesting things they could have done with that.
Yep.
I don't hate the episodic thing, but they left a bunch of hooks that could have made for an interesting season that they then just ignored for no real reason at all.
My next one has an easy answer, which is Mindscape. But what was up with Hero getting a friggin' sword arm out of the Digivice?
That was really cool. I liked that. It was dumb, but it was I liked it.
What? Yeah. And so yeah, that basically sums up our lowlights. It was just a lot of stuff that just happened for this episode.
Yeah, and characters just kind of had to announce what happened and what they were feeling because we didn't have time to emote or do anything beyond just say, hey, by the way, Quantummon has been apparently manipulating everyone in the series this whole time, but it's fine because they're actually the good guy, and also there's a much bigger bad guy coming, someday.
Yeah. Oh, one thing actually that was a disappointment was that when we got that, shot after the little, not credits, but, the spiel that we usually do at the beginning of the episode, their hologram ghosts or whatever. We got the shot to Hero on the phone or whatever, and we were looking at his hoodie pocket, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do the thing that I said last week where we get a shot inside the pocket and Moon Millenniummon's eyes light up, and then instead Gammamon says, I'm your younger brother, and then the episode ended.
Yep. Also, voiceover guy doing the, Ningen Tachi ni. Instead of, hologram ghost, they could have gone with Digimon and, bookended or something. Instead, they just did exactly the same thing they always did. There were just a lot of weird decisions that could have been better.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do the same thing with them finally calling them Digimon rather than hologram ghosts, in the same way that Digimon Survive actually goes the entire game without calling them Digimon.
Neat.
And then at the end, in one of the endings, they actually do say, hey, I think I'm going to call these creatures Digimon. Because Kemonogami is kind of a mouthful, so we're going to just say Digimon now. So that was cool, but I was kind of expecting them to do the same.
No other way we could abbreviate that.
No. So instead of saying, they're hologram ghosts, we're like, okay, now they're Digimon. So I completely get what you're saying there. Also, the whole, is everything as a simulation was kind of was everything a simulation? When the Quantummon said that, does that mean that everything that happened is just a simulation? Are the actual characters real?
Yep. Also, when you say you've run trillions of simulations and most of them end badly, isn't the whole point that you're supposed to find the one where you make all the right choices? You just need the one.
Yeah. Kyotaro stressing out about that is completely reasonable, and that's basically the only line he got to do was he got to stress out that everything could be a simulation.
I sort of thought we were going to integer overflow or whatever, and then he just stopped mattering.
Yep.
Yeah, because we only had a few minutes left because we info dumped for the rest of the episode, apparently.
Because Hero and Gammamon had to keep protagonisting all over everything.
Yeah, and also, I think the info dump was surprisingly more the problem than Hero being a protagonist, because at least that felt like it was done pretty quickly. At least, Power of Friendship, but at least it was done quickly. But then we had to
those first 12 minutes were pretty solid, enjoyable to watch shonen. I had very few complaints other than, minor nitpicks about plot stuff, but it was a very fun thing to watch right up until we started talking about the plot and going, by the way, aliens and New Nation and advertising for citizens.
Yeah.
I wonder how many cute Digimon I can grope.
Yeah, that was terrible. Hated that.
Hated it a lot.
Any other lowlights?
Not that we have written down. We might think of others as we go on, but that's all we've got for now.
Okay, so favorite character, I like Quantummon as a design. I think that's pretty cool. It's disappointing that she's not Hero's mum, but maybe she can be in my heart forever as being Hero's mum, since we never actually see her. We see her spider girlfriend, but not actually her. Chloe, who's your favorite character?
Ava Unit 1 opening its mouth.
Evangelion reference.
Yep.
Okay. That is a concern, because that means abstract concept. And Chloe?
I just went. Quinn?
Oh, sorry, Quinn.
I'm a different person than Chloe, it turns out.
No, you're both Amandia.
I guess. That's true. Yeah, Amandia chooses Gulus.
Okie dokie. That's fair. At least it's not an abstract concept. And
Yeah,
at least I finally worked out that Chloe and Quinn
about it, other than, Regulusmon was, kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
In a mindscape.
And what are our ratings out of 5? I gave it a 2. It was basically for the first 11 minutes, as you said, which, besides the power of friendship, were fine. And as I said, I like Quantumon. I like when Digimon introduces a new Digimon that I haven't seen before. I think that's cool. But, it basically just stays as a 2. Chloe.
So, I think I might have actually overrated this episode just because it was the end, but I went with a 3.5, actually, in the end.
Cool. And Quinn, now I remember that you are Quinn.
I was initially kind of thinking about a 3.5 or a 4, but I think I have been, I've talked myself down to a 3 after the amount of kvetching I've just done.
That's fair.
That is fair. And because today is the final episode, I not only am able to give us the ranking, which I will in just a moment, I'm able to say what our average ratings are. So I, on average, gave a 3.5. Chloe, on average, you gave a 3.7. And Quinn, on average, you also gave a 3.5.
I was the most positive one on Ghost Game this whole time.
Wow.
Yes, and technically I was actually the least positive because mine's 3.53 and Quinn's is 3.55.
Wow.
So, surprising, I apparently gave the lowest score despite having so many 5s and 4.5s.
And the numbers prove Chloe is officially a Digimon fan now.
No.
Yeah, congratulations, Chloe.
No, because I promised on the Discord earlier that if Moon Millenniummon doesn't amount to anything, that I'm done with Digimon forever. So I'm actually done with Digimon forever now.
To be fair, that's kind of like a little bit of the Digimon experience, is being sad that Moon Millenniummon or Millenniummon isn't relevant, because that does happen in Digimon a surprising amount of times.
I don't even care about Moon Millenniummon, it's just the amount of time they've spent implying that it was going to amount to anything.
That's a core part of the Digimon experience, yes.
Did you watch the part of Digimon Adventure Column where they kept on saying they were going to fight Moon Millenniummon, or Millenniummon rather, and they did, and then it was over in like an episode, and also Taichi single-handedly beat it? I
think so.
That sounds right, yeah.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the Digimon experience is, hey, isn't Moon Millenniummon or Zeed Millenniummon meant to be relevant? No? Oh, okay. Like, it appeared in a split second of 02, because it was in the Wonder Swan games, and it was a recap to the games that never were released fully worldwide. And then in Tamers...
Recap is generous.
Yeah, recap of, like, just showing it in a split second that it existed. And then in Tamers, Ryo's Digimon is meant to be the fusion of his Digimon and Millenniummon, and that was never really kind of relevant ever. And then in Colon, they were like, oh, we're going to fight Millenniummon, and then it was nothing. So yeah, welcome to the Digimon franchise. Millenniummon never means anything. Thumbs up.
Apparently not, yeah.
No. So, in terms of our overall ranking, this got an 8.5 out of a possible 15 points, which means just kind of like in the middle. It's kind of like it passes, technically.
Yep.
It was very middling, yeah.
It was a C+. Well,
it was. Yeah, which, but passes for our ratings, basically.
I think that's worse than a C+.
What was that again?
I mean,
8.5
out of 15, so that's 50%. So that's
I hate to
A,
say it,
I
but
think,
that'd probably be a B in my class.
Wow.
Well, that's because you're doing master's level crap and...
No, I was talking about for the classes that I teach.
Really?
Yeah.
1 point over 50% is a B.
I apparently misheard what you said. Never mind then.
8.5 out of 15.
I was thinking out of 10. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you might scrape a D with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means that it is tied.
For the record, I can actually do math, I promise.
Sure.
It's okay. It's okay. I know what you mean. I'm also looking at this like maths exists. Apparently we've only given one 8.5 before, unless I'm blind, which is probably likely. Oh, no, found a no, never mind. Okay, that is the only 8.5. Okay. I just saw an 8.5 and I was like, no, there's another one. But then that was this week's episode. So, yeah. So that episode is tied with episode 16, The Man-Eater's Forest, was when Hero and Gamamon went camping and a Digimon was eating people. So do we like this episode more or less than that episode?
I'd probably say a little less.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, it's hard to compare any episode that isn't the finale and the finale.
A little bit.
But I think on a moral level, I have to say less because I think I rated it too high.
I will put that in.
Plus, if nothing else, I kind of wish the finale had a body count.
Like a total death of
like
number of bodies.
Season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that means that now that it's under episode 16, that means that overall the finale is in 50th place, which is kind of sad. It's not it could have been the bottom. It could have been definitely worse, but it is put in 50th place. In my own ranking, it is in 59th place, I think. 60th place in my own ranking. So I put it sort of nearish the bottom. Whereabouts are we putting it in your ranking, Chloe?
In 36th place, above Monster's Beauty Serum.
Fair enough. And Quinn?
Let's see here. In, I believe, 38th place, above Pyramid.
Coolios. So that means we have our overall and our individual rankings all finished up for this series. Now, do we have any miscellaneous thoughts or anything we didn't mention throughout the recording?
Yes, we have a list of things that did not pay off by the end of the series. This is an incomplete list.
Yeah, non-exhaustive.
Yeah, non-exhaustive list of things that did not pay off by the end of the series. First and foremost, Millenniummon.
Weedmon.
The integer overflow stuff.
Partner swapping, woo.
Hero getting 2 partners.
Hero's dad, just as a whole, was kind of nonsense from beginning to end.
The Birdman from episode 7, Bird.
Lilithmon's angel hunt.
Picklemon's time traveling.
The Devourer of Worlds.
Gulus being from outer space.
And the brand new Digination in the middle of somewhere.
Yep.
Y'all didn't mention Phalesmon. I'm still mad about Phalesmon.
I forgot about Phalesmon.
We did say non-exhaustive.
Non-exhaustive.
That is true. And I feel like there was something else that...
Oh, there certainly was.
I was thinking... Yeah, there's many of things that just sort of happened and then
remember when Kishiro designed a power plant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Now I remembered because y'all said the integer stuff. I was saying I was thinking about what's underneath these bandages.
Yeah,
is it just nothing?
Yeah, we never found out what's under the bandage.
I think he's supposed to just be Chuny.
I'm so mad now that we don't know. How dare they?
Also,
it's just being Chuny.
Jellymon just being completely okay with Quantummon, orchestrating the entire world. I mean, it's in character, I guess, but that's cold.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that they were just going to be the fact that Quantummon and Jellymon are very similar. I thought she was going to say, I trust her, she's my sister, or something. Just anything.
And not just, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, just, okay, thanks Jellymon, we get it.
Honestly,
you don't care
more in
about
character,
anything.
I'm jealous. We need to take her down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I'm still wondering about the girl who was just, like, hacking Digimon to be evil.
Oh,
we had that, like, scientist lady.
Yep.
Like, with that, I'm really mad that didn't... I know, of course, it was never meant to go anywhere because it was just, one of the week.
But it should have.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much more interesting than anything that could have ever gone on. Also, the guy's fiance who died. Like, what? What are they working on?
Honestly, I really think this season could have benefited a lot from a few different options. You could have maybe done a few of them, but probably not all of them. But for instance, start off with a bunch of those weird one-off episodes, and then later, come back and revisit that. And I don't know, maybe they're still being traumatized by a new Digimon. That'd be weird. Or maybe now, Mummymon is working at the hospital and all the doctors are just cool with that. Show me something about the alleged integration with society.
I mean, we did see Mummymon walking down a hallway with other doctors.
Yes, but not until the last episode.
Yes.
If we'd been willing to, break the episodic thing, we could have shown the progress that we wanted to rush into the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's absolutely a better way of going about it. If as you said, they wrote every single episode, and if they could just tie in a few episodes, like some of them actually just would tie in, have Scientist Lady work with the dead fiancé, like that could have tied in. A lot of these episodes could have meant more to each other rather than just being standalone, which, yes, that's the nature of an episodic show.
Idea in episode, 35, and then actually explored having a character be a 14-year-old diplomat. Instead of, hand-waving that kind of interesting plot arc into the last couple of minutes and let you imagine that we did something actually interesting. Again. This is literally not the first time we've had the main character become a diplomat off-screen.
And it was Tai Chi, because of course it was.
Yep.
But at least they all get to be Tai Chi. It isn't just a job for Hero. They all look like they were working
that is
on
true.
it.
Yeah, really gets to write the national theme song.
Yeah. Not the anthem, mind you.
The theme song. Yeah.
I mean, it does. I mean, there's a lot of interesting ways that it could go, and that is the glory of an open-ended ending. But I really wish that Digimon would stop doing open-ended endings, because they do it most of the time. If they do, and except for the seasons that more or less go into a season 2, like we had Cross Wars go into Young Hunters, Adventure go into 02. All the other ones had very much open endings of just like, hey, what happens next? Even Atmon. Atmon had Yujin may or may not be kind of alive as Haru is studying to be an AI professor. We've always had those open endings, and I don't necessarily always enjoy them. I feel like, okay,
spoilers,
I just wish we had a...
Emily.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, it could mean a lot of things. But, yeah, I mean, Ghost Game endings, not Ghost Game endings, Digimon endings tend to be kind of open-ending and left kind of ambiguous, and I kind of wish that wasn't the case. Yeah. I like the Savers ending, though. Savers got a good ending.
But yeah, I don't hate an open-ended ending, but I definitely think that they backloaded their most interesting ideas to do literally nothing with them.
Like Millenniumon. I'm still like, why did they even bring him up again?
Yeah.
Now that we are done discussing the discussions, let's go over to Pondering predictions, which I guess aren't relevant, and Postmon Pat. First up on Postmon Pat, over on the YouTube comments, we have Mateus, who says they want a few things resolved and hope that they are resolved in the final episode. So Gullis' backstory. Who is he? How did he end up with Gamamon? That's not explained.
Great questions, yep.
He's just an alien, I guess.
An alien who somehow
itself
body-snatched Gamamon.
I was going to say, is Gamamon also an alien? It's unclear.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Like, are they actually just the same thing, or are they not the same thing?
No, they just look alike.
Yeah, that's... It's not really explained other than just, like, he is an alien, which I'm glad they explained that much, you know what?
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess kind of.
I would have just assumed he was just a Digimon that was born evil.
Yeah,
and,
sometimes a Digimon
You're right.
has a dark
then
side.
explicitly being told, no, he's a space alien.
No, you know what? You're right. It is kind of... It actually asks more questions than it answers, just saying he's an alien.
Yes, it does.
Because we have alien Digimon.
Do we?
But, yeah, Vardemon, Ebemon, they're just meant to be aliens.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we have Digimon which are themed as aliens. Like one that is a UFO kind of thing.
And we have Nanimon, who, as I mentioned earlier, is just from the Tamagotchi planet, so is technically an alien. We have Digimon that come from the Witchenly world, which is another property of Digimon Magical Witch... another property from Bandai called Magical Witches. We've got Wizamon, who just... is originally from there, and Witchenly has more recent... We've got Ryo, who just, like, Millenniumon again is an issue. But anyway, so we have aliens, but Gammamon is a different kind of alien, I guess. Like,
he's
I don't know.
Not alien themed. He's just from a different planet in the same human universe. Maybe. Wait. Does this imply that the digital world has other planets you could just fly to?
Yes, yeah. And there are parallel worlds to the digital world, like Witchenley and the Tamagotchi planet. So that kind of has always been
Would there be a digital world at a planet that does not have...
Yeah, I'm asking, if you built a rocket in the digital world, could you fly to Saturn? Or a Saturn equivalent?
I think it would be a Saturn equivalent.
Okay. I just, this asks so many more questions.
You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. It actually does ask more questions than answering. So yeah, Goulus's backstory is just like he's an alien, but that's it.
Yep.
The other thing they want to be explained, yeah. Millenniumon itself, nope, we didn't get anything. Not even a mention of Millenniumon. Why did the natural black variant Digimon follow Goulus? That was explained. They were just kind of watching him.
Raider Bensberg.
Yeah,
like,
and they were just they were watching him, and that was kind of, I guess, a theory that we had of like, oh, they're watching him, but we don't know why. It was just kind of like very basic of there, but they were just watching him.
What were they gonna do if Gulus got out of control?
Yeah, when Gammamon's eyes went black and they all showed up, like, Gammamon was clearly pretty confident they could take them.
Absolutely, because they're just like, adult-level Digimon.
By the way, I have agreed to be nice, so everyone stands down. That definitely won't ever cause a problem in the future, because, he lost.
Yeah. The next thing they want to answer is the voice, what's their goal, why they have the logo of the Digivice V. That's Quantumon, and she invented the Digivice, and that's... We don't get any more answers. Quantumon just kind of is the one who sent them, and that's it.
Yep.
She just kind of is
probably
there.
met Hero's dad, I guess.
Okay, I honestly think that Quantumon should be an Atmon. She looks more like an Atmon than any other... Like, it's like Publimon also looks like an Atmon, so I would just prefer if because she has, like, the pointies on her back, so she should be an Atmon, and that'd be cool. Next they wanted answered is the Lilithmon. Anything to do with Lilithmon, I'm sorry, nothing. Nope. She said that she hasn't given up on Cirrusmon. Let us meet again. Perhaps you won't, but I wonder what the other one would feel. Nope, not even relevant. And then Mateus wants to know if Arcturusmon and Proximamon will appear, and will Proximamon reset everything and save everyone? No, because they just don't exist in the anime. They don't get to be in the anime, which is kind of a bummer, because does that mean they'll just never get animated?
It's such a weird choice. And then also I'm like, is this supposed to be a sequel hook? It sort of maybe could be, but it's not a good one.
It's probably not going to be just going by previous seasons. Yeah. But, I mean, I guess I could see them making a movie where it's relevant. Yeah, they've certainly done it many times with Adventure. The 02 movie comes out in October of this year.
Pick an ending.
They keep on saying this will be the final story of Adventure, and then they went and rebooted it with Kazuna.
Wait, we could make more money. Because
Adventure makes money. I actually don't like Adventure, so at least I'm.
But will you buy it?
I would probably still watch it. I'm assuming it'll be on Crunchyroll. So technically, I guess, but I've already had subscription to Crunchyroll.
You're gonna buy the Blu-ray when it comes out
to complete a collection.
I've got to complete the collection.
So there we are.
Because Air will buy it.
Yeah, okay, good point. I am the target audience, and I am probably to blame for, like, I've put so much money into Toei, I probably should own shares with them at some point, because I basically probably single-handedly funded Adventure Colon.
That's your investment portfolio right there, folks.
Yeah, just Toei and Bandai.
It's a meme stock, you heard it here.
It's a meme stock. That meme should be a stock. Anyway, I like making memes. Anyway, next up we have Ignited Quills, who says they like episode 66 more than 65, and reminded them of what they liked about the series, the emotional stakes. And what we all said about Hero is so true, since, as we all said in previous podcasts, he's a blank slate compared to the other characters. But seeing him show actual emotion makes the episode more heartbreaking, since you can feel like Gammamon is going to disappear. Plus, the episode does not feel as rushed and is pretty cohesive. I wonder what you'd feel about episode 67, which I feel like is just almost like a complete flip of that, where I didn't feel many emotions from Hiro at all, and I felt like episode 67 felt extremely rushed. Or at least it felt like too much was going on.
It was a little emotional when we thought that Gammamon was dying, but after that it was very, okay, now I'm the protagonist here to do protagonist things, and I will look,
Once we got out of the grayscale Inception world...
I'll keep a stone face while we save the day.
Yep. While I ask my friends to stand back and let me solve this myself, because that would cause too much animation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I hate that. And they just kind of stand there and watch, and that's what they do for their episode. Yep. Kiyoshiro gets to freak out about the simulation, but that's it. Anyway, they go on to say that hoping that Millenniumon means something, sorry, I'm so sorry, and not be another part of what Ghost Game is known for.
This is a simulation, which is why we live in the stupidest timeline.
Yep.
Okay, dear.
And they continue to say, anyways, they wanted Ghost Game to not be the main villain due to how he was potatoed. Portrayed. I'm losing the... He was potatoed. I don't know why I said potato. It very much says portrayed. He could still be... Potatoed. He could still be on the evil side, but just a morally grey character that was shown in the 2nd to 4th appearances. But having him be the main antagonist was somewhat expected due to the information about the GRB factor, is not as interesting. They're not a writer here, but going to accept for what it is. Yeah, that's just what it was. It was just, he is the bad guy, but he also just kind of submitted, just like, okay, y'all convinced me. I lost.
An alien.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, BT dubs, am alien. I still can't believe that's how they tied that up.
Well, yeah, because I guess that had to be the reason why he wanted to create an army or whatever, is to fight off this cosmic horror or whatever that we're not going to learn anything about.
Yeah, that we still very much need to build an army to deal with. But also, hey, by the way, we're forming a new nation and we're building an army of monsters for your defense.
Next, we have DigiDanny, who says something they've noticed. When Regulusmon and Kanaweismon will split it up, Kanaweismon says they're getting their body back. Regulusmon says it was my body first. And then when they went to the realm, Regulusmon says that they got their body back. They feel like the final episode will touch more on that. No, that they just combined again. Which, yeah, that is a point. Like, I guess that's confirming that if it was always Gulas Gammon's body, then that means Gammamon is an alien?
Well, but then they both at various points this episode say, I'm taking my body back. So, like, you just kind of have to pick which one you think is telling the truth, because they don't really give you much other indication. I just think it's both.
Yeah, I think they are both just an alien.
Maybe.
Singular.
I mean, when they say that the digital world and the human world are kind of the same thing, I'm wondering if they're also kind of making that connection with Gammamon and Gulas as well.
So Gulas is the real one, then? The non-digital one?
Who the hell knows?
I think so. But we were never given any explanation about why there was a split. If Gulasmon is the... I'm just shortening it to Gulasmon being the dark variant. There isn't actually another Digimon called Gulasmon. That doesn't exist. It would just be a... Yet. I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of fan art from various different people where it's just Gammamon, but with Gulasmon's with the Gulas Gammamon colouring, and it actually looks a lot better than Gammamon's typical design.
Yeah.
It just, I guess it's just a little bit more interesting. But so we still don't know what's the story there, and we very much likely will never get to hear what is going on there. He was just an alien, and that was it. Next, we have M, who says they're going to predict what the Dark Digimon Gulas made are going to come back. They're going to come back to evolve into Arctus mode, and Millenniumon will do nothing. Millenniumon will do nothing.
Right about the back half of that, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no evolution. So they loved episode 66 and were devastated by the ending as someone who loves Gammamon. They have to say that even aside from how much they love Ghost Game, the podcast has been a fun listen to each week, and they're pretty sad to see it go. They hope that whatever Digimon does next, there will be a podcast to go along with it. Thank you for the content over the past year and a half. And yeah, of course, the podcast will always be here. I mean, the Digimon Seekers is starting in a week. It's not an anime, it's a web novel, which is just hilarious to me that people complained about Survive being too much reading, and then the next thing that they came out with was a novel.
Hey, I'm fine
that's just
with that.
hilarious. Honestly, same. Like, the first few chapters are going to release day after, like, the first week, I think it's just going to be a chapter a day, and then it's going to be one chapter a week. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's meant to last for about a year. It sounds good. I would like to cover that on the podcast if y'all are available. Maybe not every week.
I was just saying, I'd probably do a monthly roundup or something with you, but I probably wouldn't do a weekly.
I need to decide how much I'm committing to this Chloe's done with Digimon bit.
Yeah. I mean, it also depends on how good it is. We could read the first few chapters and maybe there's not much to discuss, or maybe we just don't want to talk about it, or what have you. It depends on a lot of things, but because it's a novel, we could organise recording around it being maybe earlier on the day on Sunday, so y'all don't have to stay up too late.
Yeah, that would be nice, being able to be flexible about that. I know at some point there's also supposed to be a Ghost Game dub, and we'll talk about that when the time comes.
And there's also the Adventure Colon dub, which
that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though there is the Colon dub, which is coming out US spring, which is soon, I would assume. So depending on how that releases, and I guess we'll work it out how we want to cover it, or if we want to cover it.
I'm open to trying the first few episodes anyway, but if, Colon was not good, and I don't really trust them to put a lot of effort into the dub this time, if I'm being honest.
We could, I mean, it wouldn't have to be like a weekly thing. It could just be like we do one every month, we do like the 4 episodes or whatever. So it depends on... It depends on whatever. I'm hopeful that the Colon dub would fix any complaints that I have just by changing dialogue. I feel like there is the potential for doing that.
You could make some improvements.
Yeah,
but...
I think you're being optimistic there.
Well, my main ones I feel like could be kind of like the Koshiro parents thing. That's still my main issue. It just is weird. But
I still want to know why we spent a bunch of time going to. Well, it was Faga, but I guess now it should be Maga?
Fang.
Yeah, Fang is what they're calling it now, because even though the acronym doesn't make any sense with the name of the corporations, and Netflix doesn't make any sense being in there, it sounds more threatening, so they like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds just... Too much of it just sounds just eerily close to slurs.
Yeah. It's just bad.
Like... Can we stop making things that sound a little bit too much like slurs?
Stop trying to make fetch happen, please.
Yeah, I mean, I love alliteration, not so much anagrams. Alliteration over anagrams. No, alliteration above anagrams. Ugh!
I also don't think anagram is the word you're looking for.
Acronym. Oh my god.
There you go.
Yes. Anagrams when the Mr. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me say that again. Alliteration above acronyms.
There we go.
Anagrams also cool though. I'm a big fan of anagrams. I used to, like, when I played D&D, I would just make characters that were just anagrams of my name, because I'm boring. I would just go to anagrammaker.com or whatever it was and just make a character name. So yes, I do know what anagrams are. I'm just very tired and it's surprisingly warm in here despite how cold it is today. Anyway, next comment. Dash Reinvent says that they 100% agree with Quinn. Out of 67 episodes, only 28 being not filler. Also, Ruli and Kiyoshiro's partners get shafted a lot for Gamamon. Yep, that does happen.
Uh-huh.
We got 2 partners and like 4 extra evolutions for Hero.
And it could have been 2 extra ones, but that never happened.
Digimon learned to do pacing.
Just a little bit. Anyway, they says that, being honest, the characters don't develop. Ruli wants a hobby. She plays piano and has the blog from episode 3. Kyoshiro is a coward, but Jellymon can shock him into changing his personality, also having the ability to turn on the AR field. Finally, them learning about liking people that Kyoshiro did is a bit sudden. He works several jobs and has a master's degree from another country. He's the dorm leader and has been shown to talk to people more than just both Ruli and Hiro. And it would help if he was a remote worker who was scared of people instead of this coming out of nowhere. And yeah, absolutely, that was a little bit of a weird thing. I felt like that was more like a Jellymon. Yeah. Should be realizing she likes people.
Who decides to move to a foreign country where he knows nobody.
Yeah, and Kyoshiro has lots of friends that just, or at least people he works with. Like it never really seemed to be an issue that he didn't like them.
Yeah, he seems well liked. That's why they had him come out to maintain the power plant that almost got run over for no reason.
Mm-hmm. No, the reason was that it would be inconvenient.
Yeah, that was still a pretty bad. episode going on.
Look, I can either
just think
destroy this facility and everyone in it, or I could turn left. Not even a challenge. Easy answer.
I'm surprised that, like, I should have definitely rated that lower than I did.
Yes.
But I think I just really liked, because I feel like I put it in 37th place, the Icy Hell episode. Y'all put it fairly close to the bottom.
Yeah.
That absolutely should have gone lower. I think I just really liked the idea of, look, I've always loved when Digimon can interact with a human that's not their partner. So I really liked that aspect of the episode.
Oh, hey, same.
But removing that, it's just nothing. It's terrible. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I just really liked that part of the episode. And I guess that's something, if we do cover the dub, I can just go through my ranking and just fix it.
Yeah, that would honestly be like the main
I could see the dub being amazing in that episode.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of when the dub just makes silly jokes, because sometimes I like silly...
That episode could be pretty good if they just lean into how pretty ridiculous the plot actually is.
Yeah, I want someone to just say, you didn't think about just turning a little bit?
What?
Like, just have some character just say that. Like, that would be...
I think that's how you end the episode is, wait, you didn't think about turning? What?
Yeah, just lean into it and just kind of like Ghost Stories the dub, Ghost Game the dub.
Yeah, but like way less racist, ideally?
Yeah, well, that should go without saying, yes. But, yes, so, next comment, Hafiz says, so like most Ghost Game episodes, I really love this one. The animation, everything is great, and the explanation of what GRB means, Gruth Raider Binsberg, and how does that work, and also noting that the Black Digimon, like, the Black Agumon, Black Growlmon, Black Galgamon, or Black Digimon, Digitron? Black Digitron Digimon. Did we actually give a name to the sludge? Because I've just been calling it Black Ominous Sludge. Was it actually called Digitron?
I don't recall that term.
Anyway, so the Black Digitron Digimon and the Black Digitron being immune to the GRB, which is interesting when they check out, and someone made a theory on why the Black Digimon are following Gammon. Maybe it's to watch over Gullus, and that was basically confirmed by this episode. They also love how Bloom Lordmon interacts with the cast and wonders who is the mysterious figure in the shadows. It could be Yggdrasil, homeostasis, a powerful god Digimon, or maybe something overall. Yeah, it's just Quantumon, and
I will say, I'm glad we didn't invoke
the
any
mum,
of that.
which is a shame. Yeah, they kind of... I was honestly kind of a little bit disappointed that they just kind of glossed over the Black variant Digimon just being kind of just to watch Gullus Gammon, because I don't feel like they were that much of a threat, because they are just adult level, and Gullus Gammon is very much stronger than an adult level. He kind of
he could have just
perfect
single-handedly
levels.
murdered most of them at any time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chloe distracted me with something.
I did.
Next we have KG, who says they thought episode 66 was a cool episode, but it always bums them out when everyone evolves to a big group battle, and then they spend 90% of the time being frozen or not knocked out, and yeah, absolutely agree. They completely agree that Dark Ralphmon needs to be an official thing. She'd make a perfect mega for Aleamon, and yeah, absolutely. Like, I really loved that variant. I kind of wish they did something with it that wasn't just, it's just she's the same Raphaelzamon, she's just dark now.
We did finally sort of do a dark evolution isn't inherently evil, but it is also pretty murderous and willing to take over the entire digital world for the sake of an eventual problem.
2,000 years down the line.
Yeah. And, once made aware of it, all the other Digimon in the room went, oh, well, I mean, I can sympathize.
Next, Duxio has a crack idea. What if the voice is Hero's mum? It's not. I wish it was too. And also Gammon's mum. Gullus is the firstborn kid who got caught up with the idea, might makes right. Hero is the secondborn human kid, and Gammon is the youngest kid she had sent to the human world to try to protect him, and Gullus plotting to take the digital world into Deathmatch Fight Club. I wish that happened. It did not. It was just another Digimon. I really wish that it was Hero's mum. Or if after... Yep.
Sorry,
you were about to say?
Quantumon just drop and replace with Mireille, and this episode goes up like half a point.
And that wouldn't even be like out of that. That's actually in character to just have Mireille exist in a Digimon universe. She's been to more universes than Ryo.
Yep, like
she basically kind of does that.
Made the series make a little bit more sense if it had been her.
Absolutely, and she just kind of like universe hops and just kind of like, hi, I'm here now. Yeah, that would have been really fitting. Or if like an older Mireille was Hiro's mum. That'd have been also pretty cool.
Oh, but that would say terrible things about her taste.
Yeah. Also, I just, whenever I think about Mireille or many of the video game Digimon characters, I remember that someone at the first Digimon Con, because they opened Q&A up to the audience, somebody really wanted to know how old the girls were. Just the girls in the Digimon video games. Which always just like,
yeah, I hate that a lot.
And the answer was they are all minors.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah. This is a more or less a franchise for children.
Is, apparently.
Yeah, the character from Ghost Game that wants to creep on Digimon now. Next, we have Lazy Crocono says that the episode was great fun, maybe biased because Ghost Game is their favourite of the show, but they'll still give them some fun even know that not just because of Girls Game On they had some fun. They love how Girls Game On was so salty and mad about Hiro for the trick, and he drops the Anarchy and made someone a donut temporarily. The motivation of Girls is just so chaotic alignment, and maybe it's just them, but they did play a lot of Megami Tensei, but always they're sad about the ending. It was a fun ride with some bumpy moments, but still very fun. And yeah, I would say I still enjoyed the series, but I wish I enjoyed it more. Like, I wish the ending kind of did more, if that makes sense.
There was just a lot of potential with the series, and a lot of points where they just could have come back to a pretty interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next, we have Ajeto, who quotes me about how I said that Digimon are not known for their endings, and then asks about Tamers, Savers, and Cross Wars, and wonders if we just have different definitions of good ending, but for them, everything has led to the climax has had a satisfying conclusion. Yeah, I still stand by what I say. I don't really enjoy...
the Tamers ending.
The Tamers ending is probably one of the better endings, but mostly the endings are just kind of a little bit sudden. Like, I love Savers and I love Tamers, and even Cross Wars I'm fine with, but I still feel like the endings could just leave a little bit more than leave a little bit to be desired, I think is the best way to say it. Like, I just want just a tiny bit more. The Tamers ending being open-ended is fine, and I guess, as I said, Digimon just like their open-ended endings, but that's just me, and that's how I like my endings, I guess. I like the Atmon ending. That
I like
felt...
my endings like I like my coffee? I don't have an end to that joke, I don't think.
In existence?
Sure.
With almond milk? I don't know. Next we have Sydney, who says, for the last episode, they hope that it is one final send-off to Ava. Yep.
It very much was. It was an entire
very much
tribute to Ava.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just like someone watched Evangelion one time and they really, really wanted to show off it in Digimon.
Honestly, that explains why Chloe's got the highest average. She saw Ava and she liked it.
You could at me a little less.
I could, but I won't.
To be fair, I also liked Ava. Next, because we have a lot of comments and I'll just want to get through the rest, because it's getting really warm in here. Mystic Digital says that they love the Digivolution sequences. They are for them. They always hype them up and they enjoyed watching them no matter how many times they do it. Plus, that was likely the last time we see in the show, which I think is a point that I made like last episode. Like, I didn't mind seeing them all at once because
I will say I appreciated
the
that
last
we
time.
didn't do any this episode. We just morphed between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, I guess, another highlight. I thought that was really cool. Where
that were good.
Yep.
Yeah, when he was just like doing a shonen. He was like, "Hey, remember how this is actually a shonen anime? I'm going to show you my nen by slide evolving." That was cool. That's my favorite Hunter x Hunter joke that I've like. When I was watching it, we keep on getting the explanation of what nen is, and I'm like, "Hey, it's shonen because they're showing us nen," and I'll stick by that. Anyway,
okay.
So that was cool. Glad we didn't get the evolutions. Overall, episode 66 was a great episode, but still wouldn't crack their top 10 or 20 of Ghost Game. So many of the episodic capers will stick in their mind as more horrific and enjoyable. It was still decent, though. And they're honestly sure that Mu Millenniumon is that it's unsaid adventure they'll have off screen. That's really sad, but you're probably right. A someday situation, like they said in the episode, what if it wakes up someday, we'll handle it then. Which makes it easily something they could come up after the series, or maybe it comes up in the next last episode and the paragraph will be dumb. Nope, your paragraph is very smart, it never was relevant. Sad. Next, we have Gerbil, who says they wonder if the one that brought all the Digimon to the Earth, the mysterious character from this episode, is in fact Blacktailmon the whole time. Nope, it's Quantumon, who just is working in cahoots with Blacktailmon Uva. Next, we have Narumi, who says episode 66 is a lot better than episode 65, and it's a shame that Ghost Game is ending. Their only hope is that the last episode has no power of friendship. They did the power of friendship.
Come on.
But yeah, like, what do you expect?
You knew what this was.
Yeah, I wish I didn't. I wish I was wrong. Then we have Incognito, who says that Ghost Game has the potential to have a second season. It'd be called Digimon Ghost Hunt. Girls Gammon receives the Dark World. Gammon must be found again because he is devolved to an egg. Digimon who fled to Earth have to fight corrupted Digimon ruled by Girls Gammon. If they lose, they become corrupted too. But I don't think there's going to be a second season. I think it's just
I really hope
Digimon
not.
ends.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Ghost Game. I enjoyed it, but I'm
you're gonna
excited for the next
a second
thing.
season of Atmon over Ghostmon? Ghost Game? Ghostmon. That's what I'm calling it from now on.
Honestly,
Never,
I've always been
perhaps.
the camp. I almost said I've always been camp, which we already know that. Duh. I've always been in the camp that Atmon should never have a second season, should never have a movie. Just leave it like it is, please.
Yeah.
Because I don't want any potential to.
Oh yeah, anything they add to it would ruin it. Yeah,
it's the curse of Ava.
I mean,
just keep it. Keep it the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have Wonder Guy, who says they wonder if Gammon will be survived by Millenniumon. Nope, power of friendship. And then they say that they think Hero just took Millenniumon because he could tell if it was more serious threat than the other Digimon they fought and want to personally watch over it to be extra safe rather than just leave it with Clockmon in the event it wakes back up and that's all. I know that must be what they were writing, but it still makes no sense to me that we give this Destroyer of Worlds to a 14-year-old rather than a Digimon.
I mean,
or just put it back in the digital world.
The answer is that Hero's dad decided to because he's deeply irresponsible, but that sure leaves just the entire series off as feeling very, very meaningless and arbitrary. Hero's dad,
then
only character who really mattered because he made all of the important decisions by the character other than Godmon.
But yeah, Quantumon, I mean, Hero's dad was kind of like, yep, I totally made this Digivice even though it was Quantumon. Still, it would have made so much sense if Quantumon was the mum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't we do that? That would have just... maybe the dub can fix it. I don't know. Next, we have Stick Mister, who says they have some complaints. Hokuto sending clueless kids without partner Digimon to hunt very dangerous monsters. And what about the black Digimon that followed Gulus Gammon? Also, where is Millenniumon? We know that the black Digimon were existing. No answer about Millenniumon. Gulus asking to sync all the time was made completely meaningless, and yeah, totally agree. Why would Regulusmon believe Hero wanted to sync now? Because it was in the script.
We sure never did need to do that.
No, it never became relevant, I guess. Well, it kind of did, but not, yeah.
We never actually did that because Digimon is always really cowardly about dark evolutions.
And foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Then they say Gulasmon slowly warming up and starting to call Hero his brother was erased too because he turned out to be one-dimensional evil bad guy. Yeah, he did. And their plot dump is always tell, don't show, which is the opposite of what you should do in writing. And yeah, basically everything you said they kind of did in this episode. They did the tell, don't show. They just explain the plot. They give plot dump rather than literally anything else, which is a problem I have with this week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have JCMon05 who says that this gives them bad vibes. Ghost Game ends and they're a little worried. They've set themselves up to end with one or more of the following. Loose threads, poor motivational explanations, rushed ending, Deus Ex Machina, a lackluster battle, lack of any meaningful...
Just pretend that it's Final Fantasy
I know, I almost said Machina, but I think my problem was I almost said Machinima, which I don't know why. I said, and that's why I said Machina. Yes, that makes more sense, because Mucha Lucha was a good cartoon. Or at least I thought it was when I was 10. And then they say it's a shame that an additional 3 episodes to properly explain and flesh things out don't exist. Gulas and Moon Millenniumon should have been on a rampage together by the penultimate episode. I wish Millenniumon did literally anything, even if he just, like, came out of his crystal and said, "Hi, guys," and then went back into his crystal.
It's me, Millenniumon. Now goodbye forever.
Yeah, it's me, Millenniumon. I exist. Goodbye. Just anything would have been better than just having him not exist.
Yep.
Still mad.
He meant even less than the ad for the toy that gave us a map.
Yeah, or the Mon who just couldn't move left. Then, lastly, we have Planet Zoidstar. Worst dad in Digimon. They say that Jerry's dad from Tamers is also a contender with the way that he reacted to his wife's death, and how that sent his daughter into a deep depression, a sense of worthlessness.
And also the whole being a Yakuza member.
Yeah, that too. Like, there's a lot of bad dads in Digimon.
There's a lot of trauma in Digimon. I can't imagine why it appealed to a lot of queer kids.
Yeah, sure did. So anyway, that's more or less it for Postmon Pat. We had a lot of comments, which is always great. I hope that y'all enjoyed episode 67, despite a lot of the comments having things that just never were explained in this week's episode. And now it's time to think about how this series went and how it ranks up with previous seasons that we've seen. So I am unsure still. Do any of y'all have any particular ranking for this season?
Well, yours should be easy.
I mean, the only seasons I've seen are Appmon and, like, a third of Colon. So, like, it's under Appmon, above Colon.
Yeah, like I said, should be easy.
Yeah, and I would agree with that too.
Mine's pretty low, maybe above Colon, thereabouts. I might come up with a definitive list later, but yeah, it's definitely not top 5.
Yeah, I think I'll need to sit on this a little bit longer, but so far, I loved a lot, probably more of Ghost Game than the parts that I didn't love. I loved a lot of the standalone episodes, and I feel like that's something that Ghost Game is really good for. Because it's episodic, you can kind of just say, "Hey, friend who knows nothing about Digimon or Ghost Game, do you want to watch this one particular episode of Ghost Game? It was spooky, there were eyes in the skin, or there was like a monster ripping out its innards, or there was a guy dragging around the corpse of his fiancée." You can kind of show
or there was a guy who wouldn't turn left.
There was a guy, yeah, I wouldn't show that to anyone though, unless I really didn't like them, or I wanted to make a point. But a lot of the episodes in Ghost Game I liked enough that I would be confident showing them to someone who doesn't know anything about Digimon, who doesn't know anything about Ghost Game, because they can just watch the episode and get the main premise of the episode and not feel like they're missing out on anything because they didn't watch the other, like, the 67 episodes. And I feel like a lot of the episodes were really strong and I really liked them. So it doesn't rank necessarily too high in the ranking, but it's still probably like I want to say just, the episode just came out a few hours ago, so I haven't really sat to think about the episode or the series as a whole.
Was it good enough to make it the best season of Digimon Air?
No. But it could have been. If they stuck the landing...
It could not have been in 20 minutes.
I feel like they could have still done it, but they didn't. I feel like it's maybe in 4th place. So Appmon, 1st place, obviously. Savers, 2nd place. Tamers, 3rd place. And then Ghost Game in 4th place. I feel like that's a fairly safe ranking. As I said, I loved a lot of the series. It's almost like if you removed the plot from Ghost Game, it would more or less be a really good show, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. I still really liked the series. It's definitely not the best, but I wouldn't want to show people a random episode of Appmon, because even the episodes I really liked, they tie in too much to previous episodes, and they don't really exist well as standalone. Same with Tamers and Savers. I can't really say, hey, let's watch this particular episode, because they still will need to know what's going on. Tamers and Savers both kind of, like, they have strong story arcs going on. Ghost Game because it doesn't, because it's kind of like there are hologram ghosts that exist and they're causing trouble in the human world. That's very basic. We find that out at the start of every single episode. It is good just as a standalone thing that you can show someone. So it still gets to be quite high up, but not as much as my previous favourites. I still really enjoyed the series. Just the ending just wasn't as good as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts about the series before we wrap up?
The theme song was written by Wieners, and this is the last time that'll be relevant when I joke about it.
True, and also I miss Monster Disco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still the best song in Ghost Game, and I'm really sad that they had to, stop doing Monster Disco.
Mm-hmm.
It's so catchy.
Yeah.
That's the best outro.
They really just should have stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't improve on perfection.
It should have been the intro and the outro. Alright, so that's it for our coverage of Digimon Ghost Game. In the future, maybe Seekers, maybe the Ghost Game dub, maybe the Colon dub, maybe we'll talk about Digimon Survive one day and I can just scream because I love that game so very much.
I can see doing Survive.
But, yeah, Survive is good. I really Survive, and if I'm not spoiling anything, if any of y'all still haven't played it, I really want everyone to play it. But it did a lot of things that I've always wanted from the franchise to do, and that the anime just never has done. It's gotten close to it, but it's never done the things that I've wanted from Survive, and wanted from Digimon that Survive gave. So, please play Survive if you haven't already. Survive's really good, and don't be scared of the words. Just because there's reading doesn't mean it's bad. Anyway, so you can check the link dump, link description. I will link the funny meme that I had, so y'all can not just have me describing why it's a funny meme, y'all can actually see with your actual eyes. You can see my memes. And that's linked in the description. You can contact us and stay updated. Memes. I love my dank memes, even if they take me 5 seconds of my life and I'm late to recordings. I have to have the meme. I came in with the meme, I have a meme to show y'all. Anyway,
it was worth it.
It was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty confident that about my memeing abilities. I was like, look, it'll be worth it, I promise. I have this meme.
You delivered.
Anyways, I definitely delivered on the memeing. So for a full list of ways to find the podcast across the internet, such as YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, head over to the Linktree, linktr.ee/LostinTranslationmon. And if you enjoy the podcast or videos, and the videos never stop, I release at least 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I cover not just Digimon, I cover Tamagotchi and other virtual pets as well. So if you miss the wonderful sound of my voice, you can always find me on the YouTube. So if you enjoy the podcast or videos or any of my other posts online, you can show support by signing up on Patreon and getting some cool rewards and help us hit milestones. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Stephen Reeves, who is Wild164 on Archive of Our Own, Kadawashi Chisai, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai2their6, Neoboo, who says you to follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai2their6, Elizabeth, who is Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Emery from Gone All Hunting, a Hunter Hunter Watch podcast, Magnus, Lucas, JasonMon05, Patrick, Jason, Shelby, Digital Hazard, who is on Twitch at The Digital Hazard, Droppymon, Vmon Tamer, and Joe. And of course, you can make a one donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Airdramon. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, ko-fi.com/Airdra. And that's it for Ghost Game. Quinn, Chloe, any final thoughts to wrap up this series?
Excited for the second seasons of some anime that are about to start up.
Happy to get
not
my
Ghost
Saturday
Game.
nights back for a bit.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm so looking forward to Seekers. It looks like it could be good.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. I'm just excited for it.
And honestly, I'm just kind of down for Digimon doing something weird and new. That's kind of their whole thing.
And a novel is definitely something new. So that's exciting.
And maybe they'll let some boys kiss.
Please, can the boy with the Postmon just kiss some boys? Not just because I look like the boy with the Postmon. But I just think it'd be cool.
But also for all the fans, but particularly Air.
Particularly me. Just make them all kiss boys, or make the girls kiss girls, and they're all adults, so that's fun as well. I do like it when we have adults.
Oh god, they're all adults.
Yeah, I think the youngest one is 19.
Chef kiss.
It's not like it's not just like with Digimon Savers, where yes, there was an 18-year-old, but the two main characters, Blue Boy and Red Boy, were both 14. So those were still kids. It's nice to have something where they are actually out of high school age, which is nice. They're not just chosen children, they're chosen non-children. That's cool. But yeah, looking forward to that.
Please, more anime about adults. College is a very fun time to write about.
Yeah.
You could just do it.
University was fun.
Yeah.
Just do something other than kids. Just have some adults having some Digimon.
Especially if you're going to make it horny.
I would be happy if they didn't make it horny, though. If they just kept it.
I mean, I'd like that too, but, I'm trying to be realistic here.
Yeah, that is true. But, so that is it for Ghost Game. So thank you so much for joining me, Quinn and Chloe.
Yay.
/Amandia. / Chloe and Chloe. And, of course, thanks to y'all for listening, and we'll see you in the next one, no matter, whatever we're covering, we'll see you there. Bye!
Bye!